Hi everyone, this is Catalina from daydreamingtoreality.com, and today I'm going to teach you how to calibrate your machine when you are using Print then Cut. Print then Cut is a feature that you can use with any of the Cricut Explore family machines and any of the Cricut Maker machines. It doesn't work with the Cricut Joy. And the basis is that you print something with your home printer and then you cut it, and it's perfect for making stickers, gift cards, and cards, all kinds of things. I really like Print and Cut a lot. I use it all the time. Sometimes, especially if your machine is new, Print and Cut is not very aligned. So you have to go in the software and calibrate it. Before we go to Cricut Design Space, I'm going to show you a couple of samples that will tell you that you really need to calibrate your machine. So let me show them real quick and then we'll go to Cricut Design Space. Print and Cut allows you to cut with two options, with bleed on and bleed off. Bleed simply extends the ink of your design. So for instance here, on this star, I cut with the bleed option on. However, you can see that when the Cricut cut this star, although nothing looks different from the stars, the cut doesn't seem very centered regarding the stars. You can see it cut more towards the left and that it left a big chunk on the right. Now, since we use bleed, we don't really notice that. So that's why I always use bleed, because if your machine is not set up properly, you still can't have a beautiful project. Now, if you don't cut with bleed option on, Cricut didn't extend the ink here. You can see here, let me get it closer to you, that there is some white spots left here behind, and the star itself has a white border there. So, you know, it's not that professional. Like there is white, and then no white here, and then there is a border here. If I'm gonna have a white line, I want it to be consistent, and because I added it on my project, not because Cricut couldn't figure out where to cut. Okay. So let's go to Cricut Design Space. We're in Cricut Design Space, and for you to be able to calibrate your machine, first you have to click on this little toggle menu and go to calibration. And if you have any of the Explore machines, you're only gonna get the Print and Cut calibration. But if you have the Maker of the Maker 3, you're also gonna see a calibration for the knife and rotary blade. So select the Print and Cut option, of course. To calibrate for Print and Cut, we have to print a calibration sheet. Make sure that you have your printer connected. And now I'm going to click on Print. You want to print this sheet on regular copy paper too. This is the calibration sheet that we just printed, and now we have to place it on the Cricut mat. Let's load the Cricut mat and press the flashing go button. Okay. While you're doing this, you cannot unload the mat. So you have to get closer, and Cricut is going to ask us, does the cut line touch the printed line all the way around? So I'm going to get closer. You're going to see all my head here. And for me, it doesn't. It's not aligned. So you have, this is going to vary with each machine. If the cut is perfect, then you don't need to calibrate. But here, I can see that it's not aligned. So I'm gonna go in Cricut Design Space and say no. And now I'm gonna click on Continue. Now Cricut is gonna ask which cuts landed closest to the center. So you have to select the number at the top and the letter at the bottom. So again, you're gonna have to get closer and try to find the one that is best, that gets closer to the center. So for me, it's 11 and L. And again, this may be totally different for you. So go to Design Space and put your number, of course. And I'm gonna click on Continue. Now, Cricut Design Space says that you need to print another one to test if the cuts landed on the right place. So I'm gonna unload the mat and get this out of here. Look how bad this little initial cut looks. Like you can barely see black at the bottom. So, gonna set this aside. And I already printed my second copy. So I'm just going to place it on the mat. Click on Continue. And again, click on Continue. And I'm going to load the mat again to my Cricut. Press the Flash and Go button. And now let's see if the square looks better. It's gonna repeat pretty much the same steps. Again, Cricut is gonna ask you to see if the cut goes around the black square, the little one. I'm gonna get closer again. And this time it really looks quite aligned. Looks perfect. So I'm gonna say yes. If it says if for you it's not working, then you have to follow the steps again and say no. But for me it's working. Now I'm gonna check the lines again. My Cricut is done cutting, so remember not to unload the mat, and I'm gonna get closer just to see again what cut is in the center of each little line. This time 10 and J look better to me. So I'm gonna put in Design Space 10 and J. Perfect. And I'm gonna click on Continue. Now there's gonna be a confirmation cut. And just look closer to see if everything looks nice and centered. Oh, it does to me, for sure. And I'm going, if you're happy with your cut, then select Yes in Design Space. And now I'm gonna click on Continue. And I'm done. I can unload the mat. And then let's check the difference in both squares. Do you see that there is pretty much the same black here and here? Look at the squares. The one on my left hand is before calibrating, and the one on my right hand is after calibrating. I see a huge difference, don't you? I'm gonna cut the other stars and see how it works. I wanna show you the cut before and after calibrating. This is the cut. Look at how nice it looks once I calibrated my machine versus what it was before calibrating. Like, I don't know about you, but I can tell the difference, can't you? Now, let me show you without bleeding. Can you tell which one was after calibrating? There's still gonna be a little tiny error. This machine is not like thousands of dollars either to have like a perfect, super perfect cut, but the improvement was huge. Don't you think? Like, look at on the left is before calibrating and on the right is after calibrating. I really can tell the difference. Okay guys, I really hope this tutorial was useful for you, especially if your print and cut cuts weren't as crispy as you wanted them to be. I'm pretty much sure that once you calibrate your machine, you're gonna be very pleased with the results. And yes, that's it. I mean, if you want to learn more about Cricut Design Space and all about the software and things that you need to know, make sure that you check check out my Master Cricut Design Space ebook. I'm gonna have a link down in the description. It's a great way to support me, but also you'll get to learn a lot. I cover pretty much everything regarding Cricut Design Space, no matter what machine you have. Anyway, so yes, that's it for today. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.